talk about a couple interesting news articles for this week. And the first one I would say is a little on the creepy side. So they came up with this laser that basically you shine through a peephole, and that laser can map out an entire room. And apparently, this is what people at Stanford think is the most pressing technological matter to work on. And I can't imagine a good scenario for this. I'm sure you can probably say maybe some, law enforcement situation going into a room, maybe bomb diffusing or some type of that kind of. Yeah, I mean, this video or this picture is just like the craziest thing. Literally, just a laser going through a door, and then it maps out the entire room. And it basically does like non-line of sight imaging, right? So the camera can see around corners and generate images of objects and maps out the entire room. And the thing is, it's not like, I mean, the picture shows the red light in the box, but I think it's just a very crude mock-up. I can't imagine you actually see it. And especially if you're not home, then you wouldn't even know that it happened. So, I mean, arguably this is going to be pretty scary. I'd expect this is probably some expensive technology, probably used by government and not really for personal use. But we've seen a lot of government overreach in this department in the first place. So what do you guys think? Because this is just a weird one.
I'll jump in. This reminds me, of almost every movie that does the bank heist where you're breaking into the bank and then they they get their gadgets out or they throw some dust up in the air and then they see, all the places that they have to avoid for setting off the alarm. So this is now in our homes or in a room. And not only is it that, it's now scanning to understand what's going on and the data that can be collected. Yeah, I'm not down with this. That's I'm not. Yeah,
just not good overall.
That's what I got. Andrew, please tell us your opinion on this one.
Well, to be very honest, it just creeps me out. Just having to look at this image, but I hope, like they just said, is used only for this law enforcement reasons. Else, it's going to go into a lot of lawsuits, like the Google glasses or anything that scans things that gets a lot of information. So it is bound for regulatory scrutiny as long as if it's not used for the right thing. So I really hope that these guys don't misuse this technology. I mean, it's a great piece of technology. It's going to revolutionize a lot of the positive sides of it, because without going into a room, you can have a look at it. I mean, that's crazy. So, that's wonderful. But yeah, let's see how the industry works, because what the lawyers say is what talks at the end of the day.
On a positive note, one thing that's kind of buried in the article is it mentions that autonomous cars can use it. So basically, they can use these lasers and navigate around areas that they wouldn't normally be able to see, and then kind of map out, hazards or objects in the road and work with it that way. So like Andrew said, there are good use cases, but I would hope that it is just, commercial for, public good, like an autonomous car. But I think we can probably almost guarantee that it'll end up in government's hand in some way, shape, or form, assuming it gets to production. So not that great.
Just like any technology, basically, when it gets into the hands of the user, the technology is only as good as what the user does with it. What? Wow, I felt my octave going up as I started to talk about this. What technology that has started out good has never crossed over into somebody's hands to do bad stuff? And so I think it's just a matter of how do we prepare for that day to happen, because we know it's going to happen. And when there's privacy at stake here, we need to be. Wow, I feel like I'm getting ready to preach or something. We need to be actually focused on the technology is great. The technology on the plus side can do great things, but we need to make sure we understand the ramifications, sort of like what Apple did when they were about to release the technology around the imaging, and they got a lot of pushback and they decided to put it on pause. Some of this stuff, maybe we need to think about the downsides as much as the upsides before it gets out into the public domain. That's kind of all I'm thinking about.
Sure. Yeah, really, that does matter. Yes.